Hello and welcome back to Tinker Talks Guns. So last week I introduced you to my 9mm Flobert shotgun, which, a quick recap for those who missed that video, 9mm Flobert is a rimfire shotgun cartridge. And I have no idea why it's called 9mm Flobert, because it is not 9mm in any of its dimensions. It is actually roughly 32 caliber. Go figure. And these are used in a variety of small shotguns as a garden gun for controlling small pests in confined spaces. They've also been used in outbuildings and on commercial farms and things like that for controlling pests while creating relatively little collateral damage. Because these fire a 1/4 ounce charge of shot at about 600 feet per second. And these commercial Fiocchi loads are loaded with 7.5 shot, so it's got rather less than a 1/4 ounce. But they're often loaded with 8, 9, or even number 10 shot, and are pretty much ideally suited to the sorts of environments where people envision using them, gardens, things like that, for controlling things like starlings, other mice, other small pests. And I've always a rather fancy one, but I could never really justify buying one. You can currently buy a brand new 9mm Flobert shotgun in the Chiappa Little Badger. But the ammunition is only regularly sold in the US by Fiocchi, and it's about $1 a shot these days, which is kind of expensive for what you get. But one of the issues with my 9mm Flobert shotgun was that the stock had been cut off extremely short. And I did consider extending the stock, but I had a nice piece of walnut that was just a bit narrow for most conventional rifle or shotgun uses, and it seemed ideally suited, so I did this. I made a custom stock for a shotgun. Now, this is a Manu Arms shotgun. It is by no means considered to be high quality, nor was it particularly expensive. It is possible that the piece of wood I used for the stock costs more than the shotgun. But I don't care, because it's very nice, it's very elegant, it's a very good piece of walnut. You know, it's not an absolute premium grade, but it is very good. And for the first time in my life, I actually have a shotgun fitted to me. With the right length of pull, the right hand setup, and it is perfect for me because I made it for me and fitted it to me. And so it has increased my delight in this particular shotgun. However, what remains not delightful is the cost of ammunition. As it turns out, there's a solution for that. We're going to go to the tabletop and have a little chat about that. We'll start with a little eye candy. I have this rather nice piece of walnut, and you can see there's quite a lot of very nice figure on this side, and the handle shape is a little odd. My wife even commented on it, but that's because it is set up perfectly for my hand. Let me see if I can get in here. As you can see, it's just right for me. And very happy with how that came out. Now, this gun seems to have been fitted, aftermarket possibly, with what appears to be some sort of rail for a scope, which seems a weird choice on a gun with a pretty much a maximum range of 20 yards, even firing the ball ammo. So, since it's obviously intended for enhanced accuracy, I floated the barrel, because you just got to for those really long range shots. Yes, I'm being ridiculous. I do that. So the problem with the ammunition remains, but the bolt, I noted, has a removable head. Simply undo this screw and it comes right out. That's very simple. And I thought, So again, spoilers in a previous video, but if you missed that, I got to thinking about what if I had a center fire set up for this shotgun. And this, courtesy of my lathe, is a bolt head for a center fire. And after some experimentation and casting about, I determined that it was rather easy to convert 3220 brass to mimic the chamber dimensions of 9mm Flobert. And this is 9mm Flobert, and these are not. This is a pretty warm one. Now, as you can see, it is about 1/10 of an inch shorter, and it is center fire. And I was thinking I was going to have to make some sort of custom die to do this, to reshape the brass into this configuration. But in actuality, all I had to do was run it into a 32 Smith & Wesson long die, and it produced exactly the result I was looking for. And as again, this is all very simple. You know, here's a dent for the screw that holds it together. The extractor is in the mechanism of the gun, so I didn't have to worry about putting an extractor on it or an ejector. And it all works rather well. This, by the way, for those who missed it, is a 9mm ball ammo. That is not, again, in any way, shape, or form 9mm in any sense of the word. These I don't shoot because these are collectible in the United States and unobtainium. This one was loaned to me by my friend Chris, who is a collector. So, how does it work? Let's find out. So, late afternoon lighting conditions are a little less than ideal, but we're at about 7 yards or so instead of my more customary 10. We're going to see if we can break clay discs. I'm not sure how well that's going to work, but we are ready to go, so let's give it a try. Yes, it breaks clay discs quite satisfactorily. Let's go see what kind of damage we did. So it didn't exactly disintegrate it, but it did break it quite handily. And the ones that fell behind, once again, broken up quite satisfactorily. Would help if I actually have these where you can see them. So yeah, I'd call that a success. It's interesting, it does seem to be holding a tighter pattern than the stock Flobert shells, and I can't account for that. So for loading the ammo, it's pretty simple. And loading the actual cartridges, once they're shaped, the only tool I use that's actually a reloading tool is the priming tool, because these don't fire form. There is not enough pressure to distort the brass in any way, shape, or form. So the reloading tool, basically, I have these nice punched out pieces of rather thick leather, which as of tomorrow I'm going to be replacing with cork of comparable thickness, and see how that works. And then a simple cardboard overcard cut out with the same punch as the leather wad. And then I drop from my powder measure 1.5 grains of bullseye into the bottom, push the wad into place with a screw, a bolt actually, until it is completely down on the powder. And then I scoop out some number 7.5 shot, which I had on hand in some old 20 gauge shells, and I don't have a 20 gauge, so I just took them apart and scavenged the shot. And then the overcard is pressed into place, again with my custom high-tech tool. And I put a drop of super glue on top of it, which seals it against weather and holds it all very nicely. And they seem to work very well. So I'll be doing more experimenting. I want to switch to red dot for the powder, but that's going to be down the road a little bit. I'm almost out of red dot. So fun stuff, and less difficult than I would have imagined. This, by the way, is the original bolt face, and it has a very, very simple firing pin, which is bored across at an angle to hit the rim of the cartridge. And originally I had contemplated boring straight through for a center fire firing pin, but with that angled hole in there, I just wasn't happy that I was going to get the result I wanted. Plus, I have a lathe, I have metal everywhere, so I couldn't see any reason not to just replace the bolt face completely, and it has worked out quite well. Let it not be said that I don't know how to make a project way more complicated than it needs to be and have a lot of fun doing it. And I'm very pleased with this. As I say, it was by no means an expensive or high quality weapon to begin with. And there's still the matter of this weird soldered on scope mount, which I may remove. But I'm very happy. It's become quite an elegant little weapon. And as I say, it's the first shotgun I've had that actually mounts and works like a shotgun for me. My friend Chris said I shoot a shotgun like a rifle. That's out of necessity because I always have to adjust for the length of pull. Not in this case. And pretty happy with how it's going. So shout out to my supporters on Patreon. It's very much a shoestring operation, and your contributions help more than you know. I also like to shout out to channel benefactors, those individuals and businesses that have helped the channel in innumerable ways and really helped make this work. Thanks again to Ben for sending me the 9mm Flobert shotgun as well. And as always, a shout out to Rain City Shooting Center for providing material support to the channel. So that's it for this time. I hope this finds you well. Stay safe, take care, and I'll talk to you again real soon.